All right, let's break it down. Bobby Lee versus Brendan Shaub. It's insane, honestly. I'm surprised because both of these guys actually have a fucking horrible record of internet beefs. Just start off by saying this. I actually like both of them. I think Brendan Shaub is a actual great podcaster, and Bobby Lee is a fucking hilarious comic. You can't deny that. This is a very interesting situation, and it came to be, let's be honest, because of Bobby's girlfriend, Khalyla. Obviously, if what they say is true, then obviously Brendan Shaub is an asshole. You know, he was trying to hit on them, he was trying to pick them up, just thinking that he could just do it. But Khalyla is the one that made it public, or the one that hinted to it. So let's break it down, okay? This is a beef that's been going on for, now this is a rumor that has been going on for, I think about 2 or 3 months. They didn't really get addressed by Shaub at all. Same thing with the YouTuber that he apparently was suing, right? For copyright infringement. Now, nothing came out of that yet, or I haven't really looked into it any longer. But now this is actual juicy gossip that I actually just wanted to get it out there because I love it, and I've actually been a fan of both of them for a while. I've followed him, Joe Rogan, Joey Diaz, the whole Chris Leah, Brian Callen, Theo Von, everybody. I follow everybody. I love all of them. I'm a big fan of comedy, so naturally I'm gonna be really into it when shit like this goes down. Now, if I was there for when the whole Carlos Mencia and Joe Rogan thing went down, that would have been sick. Looking at it in hindsight, you know. But this is as close as I get to that here. So let's break it down. Now, Khalyla is Bobby's girlfriend. They've been together for a while, and she started a podcast with Annie Letterman and another person that I'm blanking on her name, but both of them have a podcast called Trash Tuesdays, I believe. On that podcast, they shared the story of Brendan Shaub asking them to walk him, if they wanted to walk him to his truck, to suck him up. That's straight up, just like that. And how, you know, they were just pretty much relaying what the experience was. They didn't say the names. They said the initials of that person, and he has a truck, is BS, and he's unfunny. He's not funny. Now, that was a story going around, right? When it finally got to Shaub, based on what Khalyla is saying, and Bobby Lee is saying, is that they got a threatening text. They pretty much got a threatening text from Shaub's team, or from Shaub, saying, hey, you know what, take it down, slow it down, or I'm gonna sue you. Obviously, anybody that has been in that realm, getting sued is not fun. It's pretty scary. Even if you know that you're not doing anything wrong, it can still drag you in deep waters and actually ruin you. So those words are pretty fucked up, especially if they are true, like 100% true, and came from Shaub. That's actually pretty fucked up, because now that means that he's just trigger happy on suing everybody because of that, you know, YouTuber incident. Now when they got the text, they tried to assess the situation, and I guess the Brendan Shaub actually reached out to her directly, had a long conversation about it, but it really didn't come down to anything besides just like, you know, like it is what it is. So they agreed to not bring it up anymore, yada yada. Now, here's where it gets crazy. Brendan Shaub was on his tour promoting that Gringo Poppy special of his for the past week in New York. One of the podcasts that he did is Flagrant 2, which, if you're Brendan Shaub, you're gonna get it, dude. Anybody that goes to that podcast, there are no questions that get held. Schultz is a beast. He doesn't give a fuck. He's funny. He's hilarious. So naturally, being there, Andrew Schultz asked him straight up about the beef with the Trash Tuesday. You know, he was struggling to answer. He was like, well, man, it doesn't make sense. Like, what do you mean it doesn't make sense? Like, did you have a truck? And then he did. It was hilarious. But pretty much what I gathered from that interaction is that obviously Brendan Shaub hadn't addressed it anywhere. He didn't want to, and he's doing that on the Flagrant 2 podcast, which could go dicey. Could get really dicey. You know, Schultz pretty much handled it well. Didn't put him on the spot like that, but called him out. Asked him, like, was it true? Was it not? it ended up being like, you know what, that's their perspective. It doesn't make sense. So it wasn't really addressed, but he pretty much made it sound like it didn't happen. So now, after Khalyla saw that episode, she got livid. I'm guessing she said, you know what, we agreed to not talk about this. You went on the Flagrant 2, talked about it, so now all bets are off, and I'm coming forward. And she did, dude. Her and Bobby Lee went on to the H3 podcast, one of the biggest podcasts in the United States. It's huge. I'm a huge fan too. I watch them every time. Great podcast. They went onto that podcast to strictly talk about the situation with Shaub. Literally, 20 minutes in or 15 minutes in, they bring him up. They start talking about him, and this is where it gets crazy. This podcast was live. I think it was like 30,000 people were watching it at that moment. Now I'm pretty sure it's over like 1.3 million, easy. And they pretty much said, hey, when Khalyla came out and shared the story, all the comics that surround Brendan Shaub ganged up on me, bullied me, called me, said, hey man, you're a pussy. Get your lady in check. What is going on, dude? I'm gonna ruin you. When I talk to Rogan. Dude, that's fucking crazy. That came out of Bobby Lee's mouth. That's pretty wild. That's cool. I mean, dude, let it all out. Let's be transparent, because I'm not gonna say my opinion on who's right or who's wrong yet, but here's the thing. Bobby Lee said it all. Said that he got bullied, that he's been getting bullied, that Brendan Shaub accused him of running the subreddit for the Fighter and the Kid subreddit that always trashes Brendan. Brendan Shaub said, or their team said, Bobby Lee, we have your IP address, we tracked you down, we know that you run that fucking Reddit, subreddit, which is crazy. Accusing him of that directly, it's fucking insane. So, in Brendan Schaub's defense, he might be thinking, if this is real, if he's actually thinking this, he might be thinking, dude, Bobby Lee is trying to ruin me. Like, what the hell? He's trying to get me canceled. Why? I don't know. They are a competitive network, Thick Boy Network, and whatever Bobby Lee is, I'm pretty sure he has something with, like, he's also in 100 podcasts with Santino, Burr, and all those other comics, Segura, and all those comics on that side. So he accused him of that, and then Bobby Lee said, you know what, fuck it, I'm getting bullied, I'm just gonna come out and say it all, because apparently Shaub was also threatening Khalyla to release some information they have about them that they were gonna share out to the public. So Khalyla and Bobby Lee just came out to the H3 podcast and shared it themselves. That's fucking insane. The information that Brendan Schaub's team had against him was that for this last couple of years, Bobby Lee agreed to let Khalyla just go and have sex with somebody else because their relationship, whatever, that's their personal thing. I don't give a fuck. Honestly, that's their thing. I don't really think it was that damaging of information, which is why it was kind of a weird thing, but they just came out and said it. So is Bobby Lee a cuck? I don't know. Leave that in the comments. Let's get that argument started. So essentially, Bobby Lee and Khalyla just came out yesterday live on one of the biggest podcasts and said, fuck it, let's see what happens. Everything is out there. Now, what could happen? Honestly, here are the two options, and they even mentioned it on the podcast, and I think they are essentially correct. One is Brendan Shaub is likely not going to do anything because he doesn't want this information to gain more momentum and essentially, get to his wife and then become a bigger thing. However, if he doesn't do anything, then this could be another case of the Carlos Mencia situation, where you don't address it, you just keep ignoring it, and then slowly but surely everybody gets this image of you. Could go that way if he doesn't respond, and if he goes the Carlos Mencia way of just like ignoring everything. Now, if he does respond, this is where it gets dicey, because Shaub has a lot of leverage. He makes comics a lot of money. He makes a lot of people a lot of money. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to protect him, in a way. So because of that, I believe that he could essentially clap back and just divide the podcasting scene into two different groups: the Joe Rogan group, the Bobby Lee group. Because both of them are 50 goddamn years old. Bobby Lee doesn't look like it, but they are. And they have huge podcasts, they're comics. Obviously, Joe Rogan is in another dimension, but they still got this similar fan base. So those are the things that I think could happen. We'll see. This is very juicy. Don't forget, subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. It helps a lot. I'll try to keep doing more as much as I can, but thanks for watching.